Okay, I just wanted to make a quick video. If you have a problem with spark plugs that have got stripped out, this side is good, nothing wrong with it, but for the purpose of demonstration and as an improvement, I'm going to insert a steel sleeve and replace those aluminum threads with steel threads. Now, the tool I recommend is this particular tool right here. This one attaches to this T-handle, just like so. And this is a bag of steel inserts. These are not the spring type. In my opinion, these are a little better. They don't have a little tab in the center that you need to break off once you've inserted the sleeve. Also, these sleeves come in different sizes. And what you want to use is a tapping oil designed, in this case, for aluminum. Now, when the repair is done and you go to insert your steel sleeve, threaded sleeve, you can either use JB Weld or you can use a Loctite, like a 266 red Loctite, which is more of a gel type Loctite, so it's going to not run down into the cylinder. In this particular case, I'm going to be pulling the heads and disassembling the entire engine and repainting it prior to reinstalling it back on the car. Also, you want to get the sleeve to reach all the way down to the bottom of the spark plug, where it actually contacts your spark plug gasket. Especially when you're doing it with something like a Volkswagen. See, the Volkswagens have a very shallow thread depth. So take the spark plug thread and put it on and get it to where it's flush with the surface of the spark plug. Now, in my particular case, I happen to have a belt sander, so I just put it on the belt sander and sanded off the excess threads that I didn't need. Belt sander works great, but I guess if you don't have a belt sander and you don't care about having the threads all the way down, but especially on these shallow spark plugs, some spark plugs are quite a bit deeper. So basically what I did is I just turned it so it started to contact the tip of my tool here. But how it's done, hopefully you've got yourself a little bit of thread left in the hole. Like I said, these holes are perfect, nothing wrong with them. But my experience stripping the other side out, I barely put it in there and the thing just stripped out before I even can get an actual socket onto it. So I've got the engine out, so I figured to hell with it. I'm just going to do this. So if you do have threads, the best way to do this, I've already done the other side. The one I did had absolutely no thread, but the best way to do it is to get the tool started. If you're doing this as an upgrade, well, then it's going to be a whole lot easier for you. Also, another thing you want to do, if you're not going to replace the cylinders with new cylinders. Mark it, each one. I put 2 notches for cylinder number 2, 1 notch for cylinder number 1. I even notched the head. Not that it really makes that much of a difference if you put this head on the other side or vice versa, but just for purpose of demonstration, I figured I would show you. If you want to keep the same head on the same side, you can go ahead and put a 2 and a 2, so you know it's going to go on the same side. And then down on the bottom, I did the same thing right here with the 4 notches and the 3 notches. Not that it's really necessary to do all 3 cylinders. You can do just, do all 4 cylinders. You can just do 3. And then the 4th one's going to wind up where it's going to go no matter what. So these T-handles are great because it helps to assure that you're going in straight. You're putting equal pressure on both sides of this rod. And then squirt some of that thread tapping oil down in the cylinder. And you'll know when it starts to cut. Okay, right there, it's starting to cut. So you want to go about a 1/4 turn and then reverse. 1/4 turn, reverse. 1/4 turn, reverse. Go ahead and throw some more tapping oil. Quarter turn and reverse. Now if you're doing this on the car and you don't plan on removing the heads, what you're going to want to do, hopefully if you're going to have the exhaust off, leave the spark plugs out, go ahead and crank the engine, and hopefully it'll expel as much of the aluminum shavings as possible. A lot of them are going to stick to the actual tool because the tool has the oil on it. So again, 1/4 turn, reverse, 1/4 turn, reverse, 1/4 turn, reverse. So usually I go about 4 turns, 4 1/4 turns, or 1 whole turn. Give it another shot of oil. 1/4 turn, reverse, 1/4 turn, and reverse. 1/4 turn, reverse. Another shot of oil. Quarter turn and reverse. 1/4 turn and reverse. And you'll know when you stop actually cutting because all of a sudden it's going to get easy because you're going to go all the way through. 1/4 turn and reverse. 1/4 turn, reverse. Another shot. And all this oil, if you got it on the vehicle still, as soon as you turn the key, the compression is going to throw all that oil out, so it's going to make a bit of a mess. But yeah, I recommend definitely using tapping fluid. And see, I've gone all the way through right there. See, it's gotten so much easier to turn. Definitely use tapping fluid. This stuff is really great. If you just do this dry, you're going to chew up your threads. Definitely do not do it dry. If you don't have tapping fluid, I guess you could use oil, but I definitely recommend the tapping fluid. I mean, it's not that expensive. I think I paid $12 for this. See, most of the shavings actually stuck to the tool, but you are going to have some down in there. But as you can see, it cuts threads perfectly. There's no missing chunks out of those threads, no actual missing threads. And you can see the hole is actually larger than its neighbor. And that is to account for the thickness of the threaded insert that you're going to be using. So you will be able to use a standard spark plug. It'll go right on once you put the sleeve in. And the repair should actually be stronger than it was from the factory because you're using steel as opposed to aluminum. Anyway, that's about it for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this helps. I know that I had a hard time finding any kind of reference on doing this. So, but yeah, this tool is the way to go. This tool was not expensive. I only paid $37 for it on eBay. And it did the job. It did the job perfect. If I had to take it to a machine shop, I would have probably paid closer to 50 bucks, and that's probably per spark plug hole. So it would have cost me about 200 bucks. And then if I wanted to replace the heads, well, you know, that can cost a whole lot more than that. So tool paid for itself. I've got the tool in case I ever need to use it again. So yeah, I mean, it's just a great little tool, and it does its job. Does its job perfectly. It's just, you know, amazing. Now, I would show you, okay, the next step would be, again, simple. Take the tool, insert it, just screw it on in there. Kind of hard to do one-handed. But anyway, I'm not going to do it now anyway because I do have to put thread locker on this. Thread locker on the outside of that right there. Let it dry up before you put your spark plugs on. I would wait 24 hours and then torque your spark plugs back down to factory specs. And that's it for now.